Every child that's born any place in the world should have an equitable opportunity for a full life. And when you see those stark differences, you realize that we're failing at a time when we have so much bounty in the world. There are children that we are failing.
Mercy Corps estimates poor nutrition results in the deaths of about 3 million children every year. 795 million people around the world, including in the US, aren't able to get enough food to be healthy. Those are the people Ertharin Cousin and thousands of other activists and aid workers are fighting for.
The what is possible is ending food insecurity, ending stunting.
Food insecurity is found in places where food isn't accessible for a number of reasons, and people don't know where their next meal is coming from. And the lack of food can result in stunting, where a child's growth is restricted.
It will require collective action. And collective action means local and international actors working together with donors as well as local governments and the private sector, all working together in the planning as well as in the implementation, not of our efforts, but in our results. Because too often we look at, I'm doing my piece, not at what the results we're achieving.
Cousin is the former executive director of the World Food Program, the largest organization in the world when it comes to fighting hunger.
I was the first person of color to lead the WFP. When you're in sub-Saharan Africa or India, then you're talking about black and brown people around the world. For them to see somebody who looked like them. We will not forget you. They took ownership of me.
Aid groups and other institutions working to fight hunger are up against new challenges, including a growing global population with a widening socioeconomic gap. Also, climate change can trigger droughts, making food more scarce. A report put together by several organizations, including nonprofits, warns the aid world needs to transform in order to keep up with changing needs. It said the legitimacy and efficacy of what we consider the formal humanitarian sector is eroding. One way to address these issues is to seek more help from donors. But there's a catch.
There was a time when it was not about how the money was spent, it was just about ensuring that the work was performed. That's no longer the case. And every aid organization, as we go into the future, recognizes that donors not only want to see the work performed, the results delivered, but they want to see it performed efficiently and effectively.
Stanford research shows when nonprofits take on strategies that businesses use, there's more transparency. Businesses are keen on tracking progress and data related to their company, which is a practice that ups transparency. But beyond encouraging more donors to give by offering them transparency, on-the-ground work is important. Groundwork such as solving food insecurity, which Cousin has some ideas on how to tackle.
And it's very much about creating food systems that will support the access to nutritious foods for the people in those communities. So it's not just about how much food aid can we move from one part of the world to another. It's about giving people the ability to feed themselves, feed their own families, making that food affordable as well as available. In order for us to move forward, it's about the results. Measurable, sustainable, and durable results. And that only comes when all of the actors are working together.
One possible way to see results is removing barriers for women, so they can own land and get access to resources for farming. Getting rid of gender inequality in farming could help reduce hunger by as much as 17%, which would need to happen on a national and local level with pressure from international actors.
These women were no different sitting in this field in South Sudan with absolutely nothing than women sitting on the west side of Chicago or in Houston, Texas, or Athens, Georgia. They all want the ability to do for themselves and to have an opportunity for their children to have hope for a better future. And that says that if we invest in their capacity to move forward, that we have the possibility of making change that is acceptable and will provide opportunity for all of us to share in that hope. I'm passionate about what I do. If I ever get tired, I just think about those stories. And it keeps me moving. and keeps me and gives me the continued desire to tell these stories so that more people will recognize that, yes, you're investing today, we're investing today, we're performing the work today, but we must do more.